today we got some Caitlin Clark content. So it looked like Team USA wraps up the weekend with a lot of footage coming out. Now, the numbers, I was very interested to see how everybody was going to take the Caitlin Clark returning back to the basketball court. And I'm about 50-50 sold on the algorithm being right where it need to be. The first day we seen numbers go up and down. Second day numbers go up and down. Third day they kind of plummet, which means to tell me a lot of people still are interested, but there is also a lot of people that ain't interested in Caitlin Clark or the women's basketball genre. I just got to keep it real, man, and I will be one to forever keep it real about the genre, bro, because everybody else buying views and lying to y'all, buying subscribers. I ain't doing none of that.
Today, we need to talk about Caitlin Clark once again, because she has officially found her way back into the headlines. Over the weekend, Team USA quietly updated her headshot and made subtle changes to her bio information. Almost immediately, the internet noticed. And as usual, once Caitlin Clark's name starts circulating, the content machine moves fast. But for this breakdown, we need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This isn't about viral clips or quick highlights. It's about where all of this is actually heading. Team USA wrapped up the weekend with a wave of new footage, and naturally, most of the attention centered on Caitlin Clark's return to the floor. What caught my interest wasn't just the footage itself, but the data behind it. How fans responded, how engagement shifted, and how the algorithm reacted in real time. To be completely honest, I'm about 50-50 on whether the momentum is exactly where it should be right now. On day one, the numbers bounced around. Up, down, sideways. Day two followed a similar pattern. But by day three, there was a noticeable drop-off. And that tells us something important. Yes, Caitlin Clark still has a massive, deeply invested audience. But the way that momentum is being sustained, or not sustained, raises some real questions moving forward.
Now, with that being said, man, we got to head on over to X, check out what is the updates coming out about our girl, CC. So this was the updates coming out about Caitlin Clark today. Shout out to off-season Caitlin Clark sources. Off-season Caitlin Clark sources be having the sources. They stated Caitlin Clark profile headshot has been updated on Team USA. So this is the new and improved looking Caitlin Clark. Now, as y'all can see here from this picture, judging by her shoulders, she lost a lot of weight. But this is the Caitlin we want to see. See, this is the Caitlin that shoot logo threes.
There's a reality that needs to be addressed, whether people want to hear it or not. A sizable portion of the audience simply isn't locked into women's basketball content long-term. That's not an opinion. It's what the data shows. And I've always been clear about this channel's mission. I'm not here to inflate numbers, buy views, or pretend everything is perfect. That's never been what this platform is about. From day one, this channel has focused on honest Caitlin Clark coverage, tracking the hype, the interest, and the real numbers behind it. If I'm going to be the go-to source for Caitlin Clark information, transparency matters. You deserve to know exactly where things stand. Looking ahead, the expectation is that Caitlin Clark returns to the court if the 2026 season actually happens. And that if matters. Right now, there are still no concrete updates on the WNBA-CBA negotiations. Reports indicate another proposal was exchanged between the league and the players, and once again, it wasn't accepted. That means the clock keeps running. January 6th is a critical pressure point. That 6-week window is massive. If there's no real progress, or at least an extension, by March or April, the league could be facing serious trouble. A lockout right now would be the worst-case scenario. You do not want to hit pause on momentum when viewership is already trending downward. That's the danger zone. And let's be honest, Unrivaled is not a safety net. The numbers from last year didn't justify any real confidence that it could carry the sport through a prolonged shutdown. If Unrivaled had produced strong, sustainable viewership, this would be a different conversation. But it didn't, and that matters more than people want to admit. I know some fans will push back and say the future still looks bright. I'm not operating off optimism or emotion. I'm looking at numbers most people aren't paying attention to right now. And those numbers do not paint a strong picture for 2026. That's exactly why tracking Caitlin Clark's impact is so important. Her visibility matters. Without it, this entire surge risks becoming a one-hit moment instead of long-term growth. I'd rather tell you the truth than sell a fantasy. With that said, let's head over to X and check the latest update that dropped today. Off-season sources confirmed that Caitlin Clark's profile and headshot have officially been updated on USA Basketball's website. This is the new updated look.
This is Caitlin Clark professional notes. Instead, in her rookie season with the Fever, Caitlin Clark set league single season record of 337 and single game records of 19 in assists, broke the rookie scoring record of 769 points, and became the first rookie to achieve a triple-double. She was named the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, the third Fever player to earn the honor. Additionally, was the only rookie selected in all WNBA first team, becoming the first rookie since 2009 and only the fifth overall to ever name the league's first team, drafted number 1 overall by the Indiana Fever in 2024.
Now, just looking at the photo alone, especially through her shoulders, you can tell Caitlin Clark looks noticeably leaner. It appears she's dropped some weight, and honestly, this is exactly the version of Caitlin you want to see. This is the Caitlin who confidently pulls up from the logo. And judging by the footage that surfaced over the weekend, that confidence is fully back. There were plenty of deep logo threes falling, and it looked effortless. Another key off-season update came with a refresh to her professional profile, and that's a clear signal that things are moving behind the scenes. Caitlin Clark's updated professional notes read like a reminder of just how historic her rookie season really was. In her first year with the Indiana Fever, Clark set the league's single-season assist record with 337, posted a single-game assist record of 19, broke the rookie scoring record with 769 points, and became the first rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double. She was named the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year, becoming just the third Fever player ever to earn that honor. Even more impressive, she was the only rookie selected to the All-WNBA first team, something that hadn't happened since 2009, and only the fifth rookie in league history to ever accomplish that. And of course, she was drafted number 1 overall by Indiana in the 2024 WNBA draft. Every time you revisit her resume, it hits all over again. The numbers don't lie. They reinforce just how special she is and why her impact already feels legendary. Now, shifting gears, Caitlin also received high praise coming out of Team USA camp. Sabrina Merchant shared exactly what fans were hoping to hear about Clark's presence and performance. On top of that, Annie Costabile became the first reporter granted exclusive access to sit down with Caitlin after camp. She spoke in detail about what she observed up close, and we're going to break all of that down next.
We wrote about that on the site, just like how people have been perceiving the negotiations and what still affects them and what they're thinking about with regards to the new collective bargaining agreement. But for now, just good time at camp, 3 days in North Carolina, a little snow on one of the days, just a little taste of the winter in the South. But yeah, it was interesting just to see what Carol Lawson is prioritizing in terms of how she wants to make her imprint on this program. And just fun to see the players in a live game situation again, because you think about Caitlin hasn't played since July 15th,
Yes.
There are 4 sparks of this camp. Their season ended on September 11th, right? So it's been a long time since any of them have really played competitive basketball. You still have some situations where Caitlin's stuck guarding Kelsey and Kelsey's, knocking her off the ball, and Caitlin gets called for a foul and she starts yelling at the refs she's grabbing me, and all of the coaches from WNBA teams who are sitting there watching are just cracking up. Kelsey had one situation where she sort of finished through traffic. She'd been struggling a little bit, got through to the hoop, just yells right in Becky Hammon and Nikki Fargas's face, and they're just cracking up, like classic Kelsey.
Right. Stirring it up. I love that. Yeah. I love that you could see the storylines continue from the W season into this camp. And I want to particularly hit on 2 things that you wrote about. Just Caitlin Clark being back on the court. You also got a quote out of Sue Bird about her being impressed with Caitlin just being engaged while she was out and getting back to being able to play. A little bit about what Caitlin looked like on the court, how much fun she was having, how important it was. And then Someone else, Angel Reese on the other side, talking about Chicago. That was the article I was not expecting.
Yeah, so we'll start with Caitlin. Obviously, she suffered just a bevy of injuries in her sophomore season, played her last game on July 15th, even before All-Star Weekend. This was her first real 5-on-5 action since that injury with the fever, and it was a combination of like USA players going against USA players and then also USA players going against the scout team, which was just like players from small colleges all across North Carolina sort of helping out with that scout team practice. And, she looked like Caitlin, right? Like the step back three was there, the passes were there. When she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the bigs didn't know what to do with their passes. Like there was one time where she passed it to Hamby and Hamby like brought the ball down. It's like, you can't do that. Like this is not, you have to keep it up, right?
Straight up, right.
Just like not expecting, where that was coming. But FIBA, naturally, just a lot more physical than other levels of basketball, even more physical than the WNBA, which is, something to be said considering all the conversations we had about that level of physicality during this 2025 season. So having to see Caitlin like go at scout team players who were, instructed to play at a FIBA level of physicality was interesting considering how long she's been out and the fact that she's still ramping up injury wise, but she looked good. She was just like so happy to be there and like was individually like telling media members how nice it was just to like talk to them again and like that she was just part of the basketball process, even if that includes all of these other responsibilities.
To wrap it all up, this camp felt less about immediate results and more about reconnecting with the game itself. After months away from true 5-on-5 competition, seeing these players back on the floor, competing, chirping, laughing, and carrying over storylines from the WNBA season, was a reminder of how much elite basketball depends on chemistry, edge, and shared history. For Caitlin Clark specifically, simply being back in live action was the biggest takeaway. The skill, court vision, and confidence were clearly still there. But more than anything, you could feel her joy. She looked comfortable, engaged, and genuinely happy to be part of the process again. That matters. It's a sign that the reset did its job. At the same time, this camp offered an early glimpse into how USA basketball is shaping its identity under new leadership. Even in a short window, the emphasis on physicality, intensity, and constant engagement stood out. Add in unexpected side storylines, like Angel Reese's comments surrounding Chicago, and it becomes clear this wasn't just about drills or evaluation. It was about momentum. And momentum matters, especially with ongoing conversations around the new CBA and the future direction of the league. This camp felt like an important tone setter, quietly laying groundwork for what comes next for both these players and the program as a whole. Now, shifting gears, I want to talk about something that genuinely surprised me. Annie Costabile sat down with the Indy Star team for an in-depth interview yesterday, and I honestly expected it to perform much better. For a conversation like this to not even crack 1,000 views is kind of wild when you think about it. No negativity here, no hate, no smoke. I want to see everyone win, but win the right way. No buying views, no artificial boosts, just organic growth and real support. That's how you build something that actually lasts. As of now, the interview, featuring Annie Costabile and Chloe Peterson from the Indy Star, is sitting around 450 views. And that's surprising, because Chloe Peterson has been one of the first reporters to speak in real detail about what she personally observed when she was granted access to Caitlin Clark. That alone makes the conversation worth your time. The full interview is available on the Indy Star platform and runs close to 2 hours. They cover far more than just Caitlin, diving into the environment around her, what she looked like up close, and the overall vibe during that access period. If you're serious about understanding the bigger picture, it's absolutely worth checking out. First-hand insights like this are rare and bring real depth to the discussion. If you haven't seen it, it's worth checking out. For now, let's hone in on the section where they talk specifically about Caitlin Clark and highlight the key moments that truly stood out during their observations.
We're in the early stages of seeing that shift, and that is I think exciting, because one thing you hear about Team USA and its ability to uphold that winning standard is its development of players. And so seeing this group come in for their first senior national team camp was exciting. And I think there's a lot of work that obviously needs to be done. I mean, Caitlin coming off of this injury, this was kind of the first time that we all have seen her operating at 100% since her injury. And she herself admitted, like, even though I feel like I'm at 100, there's still a lot of things that a lot of rust that I need to shake off. So I just think seeing these young players come in for the first time was probably the most noteworthy aspect of USA Camp in Raleigh this past weekend.
And obviously, nationally, there was a lot of interest with Caitlin Clark, and obviously locally, we're Indy Star here. A lot of interest in Caitlin Clark returning. Just what did you see from her play? You know, did she impress? I know Cara Lawson talked highly of her, Sue Bird as well. Just like, what did you see from Caitlin in USA Camp being healthy?
Still there. That was one of my leads, was just, you know, that shot of hers that we're also familiar with, very much still there. Her speed was coming back, which I thought stood out. Obviously, her timing on passing, that still was impressive. I think defensively, which anyone I think who watches Caitlin's game knows that's an area that needs to improve. And so watching her against Kelsey Plum was funny, just because again, this is something we know, like anybody who watches basketball knows that that's a part of Caitlin's game that stands to improve. So yeah, watching her go up against Kelsey was and still knowing that she has this rust to shake off was a bit telling. And then you know, seeing her and Paige on each other, I think it's I don't think it's a matter of one versus the other. You're watching and kind of evaluating how these two players are going to operate together one day. And so I think that was more exciting than telling at all. I saw someone ask me like, oh, who online, who's standing out and who looks like someone that's going to get cut. And it's just, that's not the purpose of this camp. You know, this is not a camp that's like, oh, hey, you're no longer going to be in the pool after this one camp, you know? So I think, yeah, those were some of my takeaways.
Is that your only question, Chloe?
Yeah. Do you have a question?
Shit.
That was Annie Costable, folks. For the full context and detailed breakdown, check out the entire interview on the Indy Star YouTube channel. I highly recommend watching and supporting the original work. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts and key takeaways. Keep notifications on. We'll return soon with more Caitlin Clark updates and coverage.